Hi, my name is GregBar. This is the online portion of my Management and Ethics Research Project for a grant proposal for a housing specialist on Cape Cod. Linda Loring is the professor. The purpose of my research project was to show that there is a problem with homelessness on Cape Cod and to write a grant proposal that would fund an effective full-time housing specialist under the supervision of Housing Assistance Corporation for 2 years, $40,000 a year, and to show why this person is most essential. It describes Cape Cod geographically, economically, and culturally, and the actuality of hundreds of individuals on the Cape being homeless. It also describes reasons why people in this region become victims to homelessness, and it goes on to explain why these funds, and how these funds would help these people. Homelessness is a widespread problem on the Cape. It's well known. It's especially around here if you just talk with people in the area, but it's also often discussed in the media. It's also often easy just to observe. You see people on the street, see people sleeping on the street, behind stores, in parks. Other times homelessness on Cape Cod is less evident. People sleep in places less visible, such as couches, floors, doubling up with friends or relatives in the woods, sleeping in cars. There's a term around here, and a well-known term, called hidden homelessness. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean the problem isn't there. Cape Cod is located in the southeast corner of Massachusetts. If you curl your arm like this, make a muscle, that's Cape Cod. This is Provincetown. My fingers, this is Bourne. There's the Bourne Bridge, which connects, and the Sagamore Bridge, which connects Cape Cod to the rest of Massachusetts. Actually, I lived right here in the bicep, and that is Hyannis, pretty much the hub of the Cape. Cape Cod is just about 400,000 square miles, and it's home to just about 250,000 year-round people with 15 towns. The wages are low. It's just over 3/4 of the average American worker's wage. The poverty rate is around 10%. Unemployment's around 10%. National average is just over 8%. The cost of living is higher than the rest of the state, as is substance abuse and depression. And actually, I just heard within the past couple of days that Cape Cod is number 1 and 2 for Hep C and HIV cases, which are largely due to drug abuse with needles. Barnstable County, which is Cape Cod, is the fastest growing county in Massachusetts, but also the fastest growing poverty rate. 2012 showed the number of homeless individuals, not counting families, but individuals, to be around 500. And one article said from the Cape Regional Network in 2012, the writer said, "It's impossible to get a complete and accurate number of how many people are actually homeless on the Cape." The HUD definition, Housing and Urban Development, Housing and Urban Development definition of homelessness does not include all the people that are doubled up living with family and friends. Reasons for homelessness, common reasons all over, and some more particular to the Cape, are poverty, foreclosures, illnesses, accidents, relationship splits, an aging population, little or no income, many young people aging out of foster care when they turn 18. They have nowhere to go, or maybe they're released from prison or other institutions or medical facilities, again with no income or no housing plan. Limited jobs, limited housing access, even more so for those with bad quarries, bad criminal records. Reasons for homelessness, minimal or no family supports, high levels of substance abuse that I just cited, foreclosure, death, separation, domestic violence, injury, divorce, job loss, disabilities. And there's a conundrum of being a popular resort community yet harboring homelessness. There's kind of a myth that there's no homeless people on Cape Cod or in resorts area. That is a myth. There's an article for a magazine called Sociological Viewpoints. Darren Stockter wrote that the Cape Cod is the leading seasonal tourist area in Massachusetts and contributes significantly to the economic base of the state. But he also wanted to dispel the idea that resort areas, and particularly Cape Cod, are solely inhabited by aristocrats and social elites. That's his quote. There are several agencies on the Cape who help homeless individuals with their housing situations. This project, this grant proposal, is distinctive from those in that no one is turned away because they do not fit specific criteria other than being homeless or imminently homeless. This housing specialist has and does and will help anybody who comes to their door. At least they'll try to work with them and try to help their situation. Other agencies on the Cape are more choosy on who they work with because a person may not have the correct or the desirable health insurance. They may not, if somebody has a bad criminal record or a criminal record at all, some agencies won't work with them. Some agencies or organizations won't work with some homeless people because of moral reasons. If two people are living together and they're not married, there are some organizations who won't work with them. This is also unique, this position that I'm seeking a grant proposal, I'm writing a grant proposal for. This is unique also because this is the only role that the employee will fill. Rather than having additional responsibilities, this allows the specialist to focus on and give their undivided attention to the person in front of them rather than having other responsibilities, case management responsibilities, health care, other things. This is unique as well. So what's the harm of homelessness? What does it matter? I wrote on my paper, discomfort to death. There's articles in the local paper, Cape Cod Times, that say business owners, and I personally have experienced this, business owners complain and describe the local homeless as loiterers who shout, swear, urinate publicly, appear drunk or otherwise, act in ways along Main Street that make other people uncomfortable. Another article told of garbage and human waste piling up in homeless camps in the area, in the woods. There are several of those. A 2009 report by the Cape Cod Commission listed other detrimental results of homelessness. Higher financial costs to the community in healthcare, higher financial costs to the community in the criminal justice system, and shelter and staff maintenance. Families and relationships often break up as a result of homelessness. It certainly causes tension in relationships and families. Homelessness brings an increase in serious and chronic health conditions, increase in rescue services in the area, emergency room visits, increase in budgets for local police departments, and the list goes on. And certainly, last of all, the end result is death. At least a dozen people die on Cape Cod every year as a result of there being homelessness. Simply put, homelessness on Cape Cod is alive and well, despite many people's efforts. The first step in seeking this grant was for me to see if there was anyone out there who would want to give money to this kind of a proposal. I went over the internet. I found fairly easily found foundationcenter.org, and it gave literally thousands of organizations, foundations, who give to different causes. Criteria in searching for me was one, I was looking for organizations that who want to give to people on Cape Cod or the South Shore of Boston. Two, I was looking for people who are concerned for homeless people, or at least the needy in general or underprivileged. Three, I was looking for people who are concerned with housing needs for individuals. Four, I was looking for organizations that had high assets and had some degree of donation history, because those with absolutely no history of giving, I determined that these may be only tax shelters for donors, or it might just be extremely difficult to acquire any funds if they've never given anyone anything before. October of 2013, I sent 3 letters out to foundations that I located. In November of last year, I sent 5 more letters. Months went by, 2 returned saying they are not interested. 6 more returned saying address unknown. Initially, I was really encouraged by this whole project, and especially that there was one site with so many thousands, as I said, of opportunities and possibilities. But months went by, and lack of response both surprised and discouraged me. April of this past year, 2014, I gave the grant proposal to a grant writer with Housing Assistance Corporation in Hyannis to see what she could do with it. She gleaned some of the facts and sites from it. I have 3 recommendations if someone or if I was going to do this again. If the Foundation Center was going to be used again, foundationcenter.org, I would send many, many more requests for grant applications, at least 10 times the amount that I sent out. It might increase the chances of receiving a response at all. My second recommendation would be someone seriously seeking a grant for such an important project should really speak with other grant writers and find out how they do it successfully. And last of all, my recommendation is if someone truly wants a grant for a housing specialist, they should really leave the grant writing up to the professionals. They seem to do it the best. And you know, a result of this project was that I gained new respect for the grant writers at Housing Assistance Corporation where I work and the marketing and research departments. Some reflections I have from this project. At first, I found it daunting and exciting to head into this. It was not difficult at all for me to choose a subject when I looked over the list. Besides being a pastor, I have been a housing search specialist myself on Cape Cod for 7 years. I had vast experience, large amounts of knowledge of information, and relationships with the homeless in the area, which in itself proved to be a bit of an obstacle for me, because it was a temptation to lean on personal experience rather than digging for facts and statistics from outside and other sources. It was easy to find information, however, on homelessness on the web and from local newspapers, and so I began to put it together. In fact, I was initially writing a grant proposal for the organization I worked for, Housing Assistance Corporation, to hire another housing specialist because it's not a one-man job. A turn of events happened last fall, 2013, however, and I became the supervisor of that department. And so in continuing this grant proposal, my frame of reference became different, and I began writing not as for someone to help me directly, but for someone to help the person I supervise. The need is truly great on Cape Cod. And writing this proposal simply reinforced this for me. This has sharpened my mind, if nothing else, and I am thankful for that. I'm thankful for Mid-America Christian University. I'm thankful to Professor Loring, my classmates who would give input during the discussions. Certainly thankful for my wife who's filming this and who put up with my just about pulling out my hair for this and other classes. I would just like to end with this. It's kind of humorous for me that the sample paper on our class site for grant proposals ends with these words. The paper said, "I was a little apprehensive in returning to the classroom as a student at age 59. However, it was a great experience. I may be the writer said, I may be the oldest student receiving my degree at age 60, but it will be a testament to other adults that you can receive your education at any age." I found it humorous and interesting because I'm 59 right now, and when I graduate in May, Lord willing, I will be 2 months shy of turning 60. Thank you so much. God bless you all.